Good morning.
Hola.
Good morning. Good morning.
We almost missed our go live time.
We were just chatting. Oops.
Just chatting and I was like, "Oh, guess what time it is?"
But we made it ish.
We made it. I'm still yesterday we talked about my gas situation. We got the gas replenished for anyone that
Mhm.
cares.
Yay.
Since we just found out there isn't gas lines that come into our house, it's gas tanks. They came out to refill it and we were like, "Yay, that took days." And then after they left, there was a problem.
I mean, was it a big problem?
A gas leak.
Oh, okay. Well,
A
that might be important to fix.
gas leak. And then I had to have some repair people come back with a part and fix it. And so late last night, it was like, "Oh, now we have hot water." So maybe tomorrow I'll have freshly washed hair.
Wow. You're making some big promises, Shannon.
I don't mean to be ambitious, overly ambitious, but you
Yeah.
know,
Way to
finger,
brag. I'm
fingers crossed.
gonna wash my hair.
I might get to wash my hair for the first time in 6 days. Anyway, but we're here today from from our houses. Do we have news or do Q&As today?
There's just a little bit of news. One thing I wanted to highlight,
Mhm.
if that's okay. And that was that the Imagineers working on Buzzed in an interview with the local Fox station, and they
Mhm.
had, like, a few more details that I thought were kind of fun. Did you see this?
I can't remember. Tell me.
Okay, so we knew some of the things that were happening, like the blasters were gonna be handheld, it's gonna have the always on laser aiming stuff, which I guess means no more having to push the button is maybe, I don't know. It's gonna have 2 colors though. It's gonna be red and green, so you can tell who's shooting what, and I thought that was fun.
That is fun. But
And
then I can't blame the blasters for the bad score.
true, true. We'll think of something else that we can blame.
Mhm.
And it'll have the haptic feedback and sound effects. The targets are gonna light up when hit, and then they're gonna correspond with the color of the blaster, so you're not gonna know who hit what. Because sometimes when you're both going after those super high value ones and you can't tell who got it, so that'll be fun. The old score cap was 999,999, and now you're gonna be able to score beyond 1,000,000, so inflation, I guess, has also hit. Buzz. Buddy, who they've already revealed is gonna be a new support robot, so that's fun, and it sounds like there's going to be a like on Toy Story Mania where you get time to kinda practice,
Hmm.
Buddy's gonna help you practice aiming and calibrating your laser shooter, so I like that. So you're not just thrown into it for your first time ever without ever trying it. And they're gonna drop some Easter eggs, so the targets are gonna have Easter eggs, kinda like gives me that Toy Story Mania vibe, where when you hit certain targets, things happen. So,
I wish they'd stop talking about it and just tell us when it's gonna open.
I know, but the more they talk about it, that was kinda my thought, the fact that the page for Buzz has been updated now for at least over a week, saying spring, that I do feel like we are getting close.
Are they gonna give Big Thunder Mountain this kinda juice when it reopens?
I feel like they definitely have to. That thing's been closed for 84 years.
Forever and ever, and it also was supposed to open in spring, but we don't think it's gonna open in spring.
No, and I can say from being there last week and just peeking over, you can kinda see over things when you're on Tiana's, it does look like there's a little bit more to do, but maybe they'll surprise us. What do I know? I don't build attractions for a living.
Nope, you don't.
Just ride them.
All right. Is that the only news?
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's worth mentioning.
All right. Well, we have plenty to keep us busy. Today we are getting into the questions that I couldn't answer yesterday on the Instagram Q&A. And this is always a bit of a marathon because there's a lot of them. But if anybody submits any like comments or questions while we chat, we'll try to include those at the end. Are you ready to start?
Yeah.
We're at the very beginning in miscellaneous.
Yes.
Okay, ready? Good place to grab lunch between MCO and Disney World, and also related recommendations for a nice breakfast between Disney World and MCO on our way home. May I suggest First Watch because I miss it and it happens to be located between Disney World and MCO?
Mhm.
I
What?
love
What? Okay,
for
say what did you just say?
First Watch. I said, may I recommend First Watch
Oh,
because it is located between Disney
what
World and
is First
MCO.
Watch?
One of my favorite places that I started eating in Kansas and then also in Texas.
Never heard of it before in my life.
It's a brunch place.
Oh.
And it happens to be located between Disney World and MCO.
Okay.
And they are known for their brunch. So it would satisfy the breakfast and lunch things, but also you could go to Disney Springs. I know it's not right in between, but you don't have to go in the parks.
Yeah. I think I was gonna say Disney Springs just because there's so many options there.
Yeah. Okay. So I've never ever gotten a question about dining between MCO and Disney World. And then this week there were 2.
2. Yeah. That threw me for a loop.
All right. How far in advance do you book podcast guests? My podcast producer usually does them like a couple months in advance. It could be less depending on what happens. We recently had a guest cancel or reschedule or something, so then somebody had to be booked more last minute. But I would recommend leaving your voicemail, like speak pipe message, as soon as you know that your plans are final. We don't like when
Mhm.
people leave messages and then change their plans.
Yeah. That's really
So
challenging.
very challenging. So please don't do that, but go ahead and leave your speak pipe and then somebody will reach out if it works on the schedule. Um, favorite Disney movie?
Hmm.
I just want to admit I did not grow up watching Disney movies, and I
Mhm.
still to this day do not love the older movies because I
Mhm.
don't like the female characters in them
Yeah. I
personally.
I have a soft spot for Pete's Dragon
Mm-hmm.
just because it was one that I grew up with, watching as a kid. And I don't know. I like the newer, like you said, like the newer animated stuff because the older stuff just doesn't hit the same as the
The newer stuff that has more interesting character, interesting
Mhm.
storylines.
Depth.
I always liked Pixar more because
Mhm.
they had heavier storylines, and now Disney Pixar is kind of all, under one umbrella.
Yeah.
So things like Encanto and Coco,
Mhm.
I love these. I like Frozen because of the music
I was
and
I was gonna say the music. Like even Beauty and the Beast, which doesn't have the best storyline, that whole,
mhm.
you know, issues with that, but, I love the music of that one. I love this music of Little Mermaid. So, if the music gets me, sometimes I have the ability to look past maybe the storyline a little bit.
I love music. Love the music. Moana.
Moana, yes.
Yeah, the newer ones. The newer ones. Do you have any podcasts with UK trips? So yeah, and in fact, I usually put the word UK in the title. So if you go to the website and search UK, you'll see that there is episode 192, episode 306, episode 468. Definitely use the website. We categorize all of them so you can
You can find
search.
them.
Have you done a trip report with dogs? I don't think so.
I don't
Dogs don't talk. Uh,
Good to know. I'll stop asking mine to reply.
the dogs nowadays do push buttons though,
They do.
so they can communicate in that way. No, I don't think so. Some resorts allow
Mhm.
dogs, so you may already know that, but I don't think I've done one. It's the most controversial thing ever posted on social media when they started allowing dogs at some of the resorts. I had to actually remove the post because I could not handle it.
The responses were wild. People have feelings.
Every once in a while, if I want to get a engagement up, I just post about the
If you wanna
dogs.
feel alive for a minute,
Yeah, I'll just post about just a reminder. Some resorts allow dogs, and then people just
hit post and walk away.
engagement spikes. All right, that's it for miscellaneous. Let's get into the general questions about Disney World. What changes will happen in the parks for Cool Kids Summer?
It's not huge amounts of things, but all the parks have something special that they're offering. Magic Kingdom's going to have a Toy Story themed place inside of Diamond Horseshoe, which is usually a restaurant, but they're going to have Jesse, Woody, and friends will host an interactive show called Jesse's Roundup over there. Over at Epcot and Communicore Hall, they're going to use that again, like they did last summer, for a goofy themed thing where they'll have like games and dance activities, spots for parents to sit off to the side, so that you can let your kids go run their energy off while you sit and be cool. Also, other things are starting over the summer that they're kind of grouping into Cool Kids Summer, just as a I think because it's an easy umbrella to put it under. So you've got Bluey and Bingo happening over Animal Kingdom. We don't know those exact dates yet, but that will be happening, and some character appearances at a few resorts. Not very many of them, but Pop Century, Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, and Port Orleans Riverside will have scheduled Disney character visits. Special characters during early theme park entry. And I feel like I'm missing. All the stuff that's happening over at Hollywood Studios. So the Animation
Mhm.
Courtyard, the new Disney Junior show, all
But
that is kind of under that umbrella.
yeah, and that goes with what Heather was saying about it's starting the summer,
Hmm.
but it continues. It's not temporary.
Correct. Yeah. So some things are temporary, like
Mhm.
the Jesse's Rodeo Roundup, Whoop De Doo, whatever it's called, and and then Goofy Communicore Hall. Those
Mhm.
things are temporary. The characters at the resorts are temporary.
Mhm.
The big things like Bluey and Bingo, that's not temporary. Animation Courtyard stuff, Disney Junior show at Hollywood Studios, not temporary.
Mhm.
So that's what you can expect.
Yes. All right. How accurate are the bus times in the Disney app? I'm keen to be on the first bus each day. I mean, they're not always right.
No.
And for people that don't know, when you are at Disney World in the resort section of the My Disney Experience app, there is a bus times thing where you can see buses, transportation times at your resort. This doesn't work in the parks, but it works at the resort. And so sometimes, like, we'll be in the room and just pull it up. Oh, look, it says the next bus is coming at, this time. We'll better get walking. But then when you're actually at the bus stop, then the buses will sometimes show up early,
Mhm.
late. It's
Late.
especially difficult for the resorts that have a lot of internal stops.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, and keeping in mind with those ones with internal stops, not only are you dealing with how long it takes each bus at each stop, if the bus gets full, like
yes.
another one isn't typically tagged onto it, so you can still there's it's not gonna make that time that they said in the app.
But we are also, by the way, how much do you love the word keen?
I love it.
Mhm. We are also keen to be on the first bus often. So we
Mhm.
are there at 90 minutes before early entry. So if early entry is 8:30, we're there at 7, and we might have to wait until 7:30, but sometimes it comes closer to 7, 7:15.
Yes.
So I wouldn't look at the bus times at all for that first bus of the day.
Mm-mm.
Just
Nope.
go. Just go.
Just go.
What's your favorite thing to do on a rest day? I'm open to taking rideshare off property. Well, if we're taking rideshare off property, it's just to go eat at a restaurant that we
Yeah.
like. What's the name of that restaurant, Heather?
Why did you have to ask me? Because now I'm not going wait, wait, wait. I just want my chicken riggies and my Utica greens. What is it called?
Italian Steakhouse, Orlando,
Why can't I think of it?
Delmonico's.
Delmonico's. Yes, Delmonico's. We will go over there to get chicken, specifically chicken riggies, Utica greens, split both of those. Perfect meal. Um, but if I'm not leaving the resort, I like to do maybe a little bit of pool time, maybe a little bit of bed rotting. I do enjoy some bed rotting every now and then. Exploring
But
the
like, please put that on our list. Favorite things to do on a rest day. Bed rot.
especially if you're in the middle of a trip, it's nice to just like
Oh no, it's probably the number one thing that we do. But putting that on the list just cracks me up.
I'm being honest. I'm being honest. But I also do like to go to other resorts and have a nice meal at a different resort. That's fun. If I'm on like the Skyliner, it's
Mhm.
easy, or the monorail, easy to jump on one of those and do a crawl.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Skyliner crawl thing too, but also if you're on the Skyliner, you could go to the monorail loop, like,
Mhm.
because some of that transportation you aren't ever going to use unless you make a point to go and use it. So you could go to Magic Kingdom and then just take the monorail around to the different resorts there, or if you're on the monorail, vice versa, go the
Uh-huh.
Skyliner. So resort crawl.
Yeah.
And we have resort hopping plans on the website. If you want to look at them, we have them for Skyliner and monorail, but also Fort Wilderness, the boardwalk area. I think Disney Springs area resorts maybe as well. We have a few. Favorite place to order groceries?
Well, it used to be Kroger.
Yeah, they used to not have stores, but they had delivery.
Mhm. And this my last trip, I had to switch because, no longer had Kroger as an option, and I realized I had never canceled a Walmart Plus membership that I who knows how long I've been paying for it, so I used it and it worked well.
Hmm.
So that is an easy option. Instacart is another good one. I think, Shannon, your recommendation is usually to go with whomever if you already are using somebody, just go and they are available down there to use that. But if not, I would say that both Walmart and Instacart are easy to use, have tons of options.
I use Uber Eats a lot.
Mhm,
Amazon's also an option. I don't know. We were in such a routine with the Kroger delivery. I literally would just hit reorder
mhm.
every time. And now I'm not sure what the routine's going to be with Kroger being gone. But I use Uber Eats the most. That's how we get we get prescription medicine delivered
That's
through Uber Eats here. But I have an Uber One membership.
Mhm.
And so for me, it would make sense
That
to use
makes
that.
sense.
Yeah. Can I wear strap on sandals like Tava's on the rides at the water parks?
Um, I looked this one up because I wasn't sure, and from they don't say specifically the kinds of shoes and stuff you can wear, like the name brands, but they do say, like, shoes that are secured to your feet.
And
So
Tava's would count.
yes, so to me, that means that, just, like, not things like flip-flops.
Hmm.
I've also seen, though, where on some rides, where they'll ask you to hold them.
Hmm.
So, that could be an option too, but at least you're able to wear them up to the ride, which is probably what you're trying to avoid, like the hot pavement and stuff.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Any ideas on when 2027 dates will be released?
Well,
Heather's so excited. She's working on the crowd calendar.
yeah, so excited. It's one of my favorite things. Last year, 2026 packages for January through October opened up on April 22nd, 2025. So I don't think we are very far away from seeing all of 2027 opening up, or at least the first batch of 2027 opening up.
In the olden days, it was June, and now it's April. That's
Yeah.
better. April's better
Mhm.
because
Yes.
people are out here trying to plan their January, February trips. And
Yeah.
it's like, can I please get it booked? But also in the olden days, the dining reservations were 6 months out. And so it was like, okay, you're going to release it in June. And then
I have to
if I,
immediately.
and then make dinings. Yeah. Okay. How would you navigate a day with teens split between Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios? I don't know. I don't know that I mean, I don't know that the teens make a huge difference on the advice.
The only thing I think I would do is I would definitely utilize the single rider lines because teens are probably gonna be comfortable
Mhm.
using those. So that gives you a huge advantage because you're gonna have Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom, and then over at Hollywood Studios, you'll have both, Rise of the Resistance and Smuggler's Run, and depending on where you're going, possibly Rock and Roller Coaster. So you'll have several ways to ride attractions without having to buy lightning lanes because you don't mention this question doesn't mention whether or not they're buying it, but keeping the weights down a little bit lower. So I think that opens you up to some possibilities that people with younger kids may not have.
Yeah, I love the mention of the single rider lines because there are a couple between these two parks, and
Mhm.
that's huge. If you were buying lightning lanes, which park would you pre-book the lightning lanes in?
Hollywood Studios, but I would buy single pass for Flight of Passage
Mhm.
and do that.
Mhm. Which weekend is less busy, a marathon weekend or MLK?
You have to remember that the reason that Marathon Weekend is on Marathon Weekend, is partially because weather and people don't wanna run marathons when it's super hot, so the earlier in the year, the coldest part of the year is ideal, but also because Disney identified it at one point that that was a slower time of the year. Now, it does increase the crowds, and it does add some transportation quirks because you're gonna have roads shut down, so it can be a little bit more difficult navigating, especially on Saturday and Sunday of Marathon Weekend. But between the 2, I think probably even though we have them both as orange, I think that MLK Weekend would be technically busier.
Yes, I agree with that. And I mean, this person says which weekend, so they're probably just going for the weekend.
Mhm,
But if I was going for longer, I would just go like before or after Milky Weekend to
mhm.
have some days that are a little less busy. But if you're going just for a weekend, I think MLK is going to be busier
Yeah.
also. Do you think Easter decor will still be up at Grand Floridian on Monday, April 6th?
Yes, because isn't Easter on the 5th? I don't I don't think anybody's gonna be working on Easter to take stuff down.
Yeah, it should still be there.
Yeah.
If staying outside the bubble, which transportation is best to be to the parks from the hotel? Probably rideshare if you don't have a car.
Anything that you control the arrival times with, so rideshare or your own car. Don't
Yeah.
rely on like, if you're staying at a hotel that has a shuttle service, we generally don't recommend them because you are then bound to their schedule, and it's
Mhm.
not often convenient schedule to follow, or it won't fit into your plans. It's hard enough trying to juggle your reservations for lightning lanes and dining reservations, but then if you also have to juggle, um, the schedule for the bus, you're kind of really making your day difficult.
Do you remember when I stayed for the whole month of June? This was 10 years ago, Heather. Can you believe that?
No.
2016. This June will be 10 years. Anyway, I stayed offsite for a month and I don't like to drive. I don't like to rent cars if I don't need to. And you and others were like, you need to rent a
Uh-huh.
car because I was thinking I was just going to like Uber and back and forth. And having a car was super handy, as it
Yes.
turns out. Second, third ride at Rope Drop,
Or
scan into First Lightning Lane at 9 a.m. to start searching for a tier one.
I would if I would get into that next ride before like, if you are still going it's still early entry, and there's a decent chunk of time for early entry, like 10 minutes left, and the line isn't too bad, I would ride that next ride during early entry and then go scan into your lightning lane.
Well, I think they're saying 2 rides during early entry, and then do we do or like 1 or 2 rides during early
Mhm.
entry, and then do I do my second or third ride at park opening, or do I start churning through lightning lanes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you ride your first ride during early entry and you still have a decent chunk of time left of early entry, I would not wait for early entry to be over to scan into my first lightning lane right at 9 a.m. But if I had like 10 or 15 minutes left of early entry, which you possibly could, depending on which ride you're riding, I would get into that ride. I think as long as you are scanning into that first lightning lane between 9 and 9:30, you're still gonna be or not before 9:30, you're still gonna be great. Like, even after that, you'll probably still be able to snag other tier ones.
Yeah. We already mentioned when will April 2027 open? Most of 2027 should be out next month,
Mhm.
with the exception of November and December. So your date should be available.
Soon.
Can we stay after the final shows in the parks? How long do buses run? I worry about Magic Kingdom. Yes. The closing time of the parks isn't the time that the parks actually close, which is confusing, but it is the time that you have to be in line for rides.
Mhm.
Like if it says 9 p.m. close, you can get in line at 8:59 and they will let the queue go down to, let everybody ride. But there's stores, a lot of stores are open,
Mhm.
photographers are still out, etc. The buses will operate until about, I mean, they will keep going.
They will not leave you stranded, and I promise you on your first day, if you are in the park when it closes, you will see just how many people are in the park when it closes, and even for 30, 45, an hour later, the shops will be packed. People often will finish out the park as long as they can and do all the rides that they can and then move on to shopping and mingle inside the shops for a while and then head out of the park.
Yeah, you can meander if you would like. All right, next one, ways to make a first-timers trip to Disney World feel extra special. We have a 6-step planning process for planning trips, and the last step is to add extra magic, so that's what this feels like to me.
Mhm.
Like, how are we gonna make it extra special? And so these are some of the ideas that we have on our extra magic list. Trip countdown. This is beforehand. Create a trip countdown, watch movies connected to the park attractions, plan a special surprise, prepare daily Tinkerbell gifts. It's been a long time since we talked about Tinkerbell gifts. If you have
Yeah,
kids,
super fun way to make each day of your trip or some days of your trip special just by leaving little tiny gifts in the morning for them to find and telling them that Tinkerbell left them.
yeah, it's cute. We should talk about that more on a different day.
Mhm.
Fireworks dessert party, book a photo session, rent a private fireworks pontoon cruise or book a pontoon cruise. So yeah, we do highly recommend customizing it
Mhm.
so that you are doing things that are specific to your group. All right. Tips for first timers traveling with grandparents and 2-year-old. Well, we have a whole website full of tips. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but that's literally what it's for.
Yeah. And also you may look out that depending on what age the grandparents are, the grandparents and the 2-year-old may be into the same things. So so grandparents, may not be wanting to ride. I mean, it depends. Some of the bigger rides, 2-year-old probably can't ride the bigger rides unless it's, like, just a really tall 2-year-old who's very adventurous.
You
So
realize this person could be our age.
I realized it after I said some people, some grandparents. In my head, now all grandparents are great-grandparent age, now that I've
Yes.
aged into grandparent age.
Mhm, mhm.
But
How difficult is it to get the free dining promo for October dates? Well, if you're not a Disney Visa card holder right now, it's impossible.
true, true. And then hopefully it won't be too difficult. Stay flexible. Don't be locked into your exact dates if you can. If you haven't already bought flights, be flexible on your hotel, and you're going to increase your chances of being able to snag it if that promo is the one that's going to save you the most money. But also run the numbers to make sure that it is going to be the one that's going to save you the most money.
Yes, run the numbers. That's going to be what we say to everybody asking these questions. Run the numbers. Every situation's different. What month is better for a couple traveling? April or May? Depends on when in April.
Hmm.
Do you see that red at the top of April?
I
I
do.
mean,
I do.
this is for 2026, and that is dependent on Easter. So I don't know if this person is talking about 2027 or 2026. If you're going to 2026, it's coming up
Yeah.
real fast.
Yes. But next year, I think Easter moves up a week, so the red will be less into Easter, I
Mhm.
believe, is what happens. Is that what happens next year for Easter?
Yeah, I think it moves up 1 week earlier. But
Um,
but May,
May.
May, May's easier, like to predict at least. Um, we are going to skip from general to Magic Kingdom. Are the dessert parties worth it?
I think so.
Yeah, on our list of things that are worth it, we do have a list of things that are worth it.
Mhm.
This is on the list.
Mhm.
We like it. There are different options for the dessert party. We don't well, sometimes you do the most expensive one if you want to sit down at a table and
Mhm.
chairs. But the garden view area is a little bit less expensive and has, I think, a better view.
Mhm. Agreed. I mean, the view at the seats and treats or treats and seats, I can never remember which order it goes in, is I think it's perfectly fine, but your fireworks are gonna be off to the side instead of directly behind the castle. If you go with the pre or post dessert party, you're gonna get the fireworks behind the castle, which is, the ideal view. Plus, you can see all of the, projections very well, so, yeah, either of those are fine.
If my daughter's turning 3 on our trip, can she do Bibbidi by Boutique? So Bibbidi by Boutique has a minimum age 3. Here's something that you should know. They cannot ID your children. And I am not suggesting that you lie.
Mhm.
I never did when I was, going with little ones, but it is sort of up to your discretion, I would say. And if I had a kid turning 3, I think I would book it.
Yes, and, I you put your you put your birth date in, don't you? Or do you not when you
Not
say
for
what age they are?
I don't know that you have to put birthday in.
Birthday in, but if they are turning if they're turning 3 during the trip, and you're even a little bit concerned about it, just book it on the birthday or after.
Any guesses when Buzz will open? Okay.
Spring?
Yes, no, but they're asking us to guess. So let's just throw out a date and then we'll win a prize if we're correct. So what is this? March 11th. They said spring. Technically, spring on the calendar goes through June 20 something. Disney doesn't usually do spring into June. So that means between now and mid-May, probably, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Then I'm going to guess that it opens April 15th.
So you're going after Easter.
Sure.
I'm gonna take the under, just to be controversial and get people all excited that possibly it'll be open for their big Easter trip. I'm gonna go for the under and say it's gonna happen on or before Easter.
Okay. Let's see what happens and then we'll win a prize. let's figure out the prize. Rope drop Epcot. Would you rather Guardians or Remy's?
Depends.
Which entrance are you coming in?
Mhm. That's what the only thing that I would use to determine which one I'm gonna ride, and mhm.
So when we did touring testing, I went through the main entrance and I rope drop Guardians, and Heather went through the International Gateway and she rope drop Remy's.
Uh-huh.
That's what should determine it for everyone.
Yep.
Any strategy you recommend for Epcot After Hours event during the Flower and Garden Festival? So the Flower and Garden Festival has no impact on Epcot After Hours.
Zero impact. The only thing I would recommend for Epcot After Hours is to knock out if you wanna ride Remy's, knock it out as early as you can, if you can get it done before After Hours starts, just because it's so far away from everything else that's happening.
Speaking of Flower and Garden, will it still have booths open June 1st, or is that the day it is closed?
I think it goes through June 1st, so everything will still be open on June 1st.
Are Festival of the Holiday offerings staggered or all at once, like the Cookie Stroll Storytellers booths decor, all at once?
All at once. It's chaos. It's Christmas chaos, holiday chaos.
But not till after Thanksgiving.
Yes. And like the storytellers, those are scheduled. Cookie Stroll, no schedule. Booths, there's hours that they're open. Decor is up all the time. The only thing that's on like a schedule are going to be the storytellers, the what's the pageant called? Candlelight processional and the that's it. Yeah, those two things. That's it. Everything else is just happening all the time.
How much time do you need to fully enjoy Flower and Garden on a 3-day park hopper trip?
6 days.
Well, I mean, a 3-day park hopper, like you got to pick and choose what you're doing. Like before this was my job, I went for 10 days and still didn't do everything.
Mhm.
So you really have to pick and choose. And if Flower and Garden is a priority, then I would probably do morning doing some ride type things at Epcot and then leave time for Flower and Garden when the booths actually open, and you'll just kind of see things as you're walking around too. Like just different topiaries and stuff like that.
Gardens and whatnot.
Yeah. 50s prime time or sci-fi for Phantasmic dining package?
This is the big debate. Mashed potatoes or french fries and burgers?
Being harassed by servers or
Or
watching movies on a screen. Pick your vibe.
sitting next to one person and not having to talk to the people across from you? Or sitting at a table and having to face your party? These are all very important things.
We're gonna make a chart. A tool. Pick your restaurant, and these are the questions. Do you
I
want to talk to the people at your table?
don't or do you like it a little bit more quiet and you don't wanna engage do you wanna eat by soft light that's downcast onto your tiny little table that you're sitting at in your car? I think they're both good options. They both have fun themes. I would probably choose based upon the ages of who I'm traveling with, because with kids, sci-fi is a little bit more difficult if they want to sit in a car, and then you might have to split up just depending on your party, um, versus 50s. But I'm always down for mashed potatoes, but I'm also always down for burger and fries.
Animal Kingdom questions. Do you need Memory Maker to keep the photos taken during the Wild Africa trek? You do not. They give you the photos. And in fact, some of my favorite photos ever have been taken on the rope bridge during the Wild Africa trek. I don't know what it is about it, but do you know the photo I'm talking about?
Yes, the one where you're perched perilously above a
Yeah,
big giant ravine.
this is not Heather's vibe. But this is mine. I've done the Wild Africa trek twice. But like that photo, I don't know.
Do you have
Why
wait,
do
I'm
I look 27?
and you look happy, but quick question.
Uh-huh.
I never noticed the distance between the steps. Were you hopping between those or could you just walk?
No, you can walk.
What if you have little short legs?
They're not that far apart.
They look very far apart.
No,
I'm
they're
I'm proud of
like
you for not dying. That looks dangerous.
it's not dangerous. It's really fun. But they take photos like this one during the Wild Africa trek.
It is a very great photo.
It is so good. I don't know. I don't normally like photos of myself, but that one I'm like, it's one of my favorites of all time. Best guess when Encanto will open at Animal Kingdom in 2027. Okay, they're asking us to guess again.
Again, we really need to figure out what our awards are gonna be. Okay, 2027 Encanto, I guess fall.
I guess May 20th. I'm not messing around with seasons.
I'm going you're going with a
Are you
specific
going
date.
early fall? Late fall.
I'm going mid-fall.
Okay, mid-fall.
Mid-fall.
Okay, we are hopping away from the parks and going to a million Lightning Lane questions.
Okay.
Group of 7, does everyone have to book the same Lightning Lanes together or separate?
You can book separate, but I think it's a different transaction each time. So keep that in mind. And then I would definitely book in the order of difficulty and not go in sequential numeric or date order.
Yeah. So, for instance, if your group of 7 has 3 people that don't want to go on the big rides or the most popular rides, just don't book them first.
Mhm.
Go back and book them later. But definitely book the most popular ones first. But it is going to be separate transactions. If staying on site for 2 days and off site for 2 days, can you book all your Lightning Lanes 7 days in advance? Yeah, I don't think so either.
No, I think it's just the 2 days that you're on site.
Weight Magic has modified my Lightning Lane times to overlap with my dining reservations. Have you heard of this happening? I think is it the initial bookings that can't overlap with dining,
Maybe.
but you can modify?
Yeah.
Yeah, just be blessed. If I'm going to change my third Lightning Lane to tier 1 after scanning into my first Lightning Lane, do I even need to pre-book it?
Yes. Right? Yes. I'm saying this with confidence. Yes. Just book it for something random. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Coming from the UK at Easter for 2 weeks will Lightning Lane for 2 days be okay? Magic Kingdom and Epcot or Hollywood Studios. Okay, Easter's very busy.
Mhm. But if they're doing like a 15-day ticket, you might be okay. And I would do Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios.
100%. I feel like this person may have submitted questions before because we've talked about how the dates closest to Easter are going to be the
Mhm.
most competitive, and then the part of your trip that is further from Easter is going to be easier. So that week that is adjacent to Easter is going to be the busiest. So if you want to go into the parks during that time, that's when I would definitely prioritize Lightning Lanes.
And then, I mean, just throwing this out there too, I would buy it for those first 2 days and the first 7 days of your trip, because if you get there and you were like, "Oh, I can't do this without lightning lanes," the second half of your trip, you could still book 7 days
Mhm.
out. So
Mhm.
you'd still be able to do it without losing that, pre-booking advantage.
Mhm.
So
That's a good point. It's not often we get to think through what it's like to be there for 14 days, but the UK people do often. What about lightning lanes for starting at Animal Kingdom and then hopping to Epcot? Get them for Animal Kingdom or stack 3 at Epcot?
I know what you're gonna say. Say it.
Well, I like booking Animal Kingdom first in this case because after you tap into Animal Kingdom for whatever, like Navi River Journey, Kilimanjaro Safari, then you can start booking for Epcot and the tiers don't apply at that point. So you can start booking, you know,
Mhm,
any whatever rides are available. And if you're early, it might even be before Epcot's open.
mhm.
So you get kind of first dibs at what's available.
Yeah, I agree with that, and then I would also toss out there too, we've already mentioned it before, but those single rider lines, if you can take advantage of it, at Epcot, you're moving to a park that has 2 of their tier 1 rides that have single rider lines, Test Track and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, and that can make it a little bit easier to navigate through Epcot, if you struggle to get those ones.
Mhm. 3 days prior that they're gonna be able to book lightning lanes 3 days prior.
Mhm.
Will all good times be gone, or is there hope? LOL.
There's always hope, but I would
No,
use I yes, there is. I would use Wait Magic and Standby Skipper.
um,
Oh, no. No, no, no.
that's me losing hope. No, it'll be challenging
Uh-huh.
because the on-site people have first dibs, but yes, I would book whatever you can, and then what
Mhm.
Heather said, use, Weight Magic because they can modify.
Yes.
Can Rider Swap be done with Lightning Lane too? Yes. I Rider Switch is so hard to explain.
Mhm.
But my ideal for Rider Switch is that everybody has lightning lanes. And then if you have a person that wants to re-ride, that they get basically a free lightning lane. All right. I keep wanting to stand up and do like a demonstration. Let's say you have 2 adults,
Uh-huh.
like 2 parents, 2 kids. The older kid wants to ride everything, younger kid can't or won't. Parent 1 goes with big kid and then they use lightning lanes and
Mhm.
then they get off and then big kid goes with parent 2, but kid the second time is using rider switch. So basically everyone has lightning lanes, but the second time the big kid rides, they get a free lightning lane so that they can go with parent 2 and parent 2 doesn't have to go alone.
Correct. And you need to have lightning lanes to use it that way. You can't
Yes.
have your first group have it and the second group not.
Mhm.
They check that. So everybody, if you're gonna use lightning lane with rider switch, everybody that is entering in for their first time has to have a lightning lane.
But if you in this example that I gave, if you don't have a kid that wants to rewrite or something, you don't even need to use Rider Switch.
Mm-mm.
Let's say both parents just want to ride.
Mhm.
Okay, parent 1 goes, gets off the ride. Parent 2 goes, gets off the ride. You just use lightning lanes.
Mhm.
You don't even need to stop and do the Rider Switch thing at all. 5 park days in August, but keeping the final day open after visiting all 4 parks earlier in the trip. Can I buy Lightning Lane Multi-Pass day of? If buying only 4 Lightning Lane Multi-Pass for 5 park days, skip Lightning Lanes for Animal Kingdom or skip Lightning Lanes for my second day at Epcot or Magic Kingdom? I would skip Animal Kingdom.
I would skip Animal Kingdom too, and technically you can buy it day of,
Mhm.
but what you're gonna have, like, your options and availability for, lightning lanes is it's gonna be very limited.
Yeah, I mean, August is not gonna be super busy
Mm-mm.
probably, but you still are competing for whatever is left over.
Mhm.
I have good news. That is the last of our lightning lane questions.
Bless.
Lightning lanes are so difficult to understand. So I understand why there's questions, but it's also sometimes hard to communicate the
Mhm.
information.
To get it
But
out of here.
our next category is resorts. What hotels limit Uber drop offs if you don't have a reservation and just want to look around? All of
All of
them.
them.
All of them. They're gonna be a lot more strict at deluxe resorts, but they all check. Even so when you go to like the all-star resorts,
Mhm.
there's 3 in a row, and there's like a security guard person before you enter that row, and they check.
They
And
check.
and that's the all-star resorts, the least expensive resorts at Disney World.
Yeah, the ways to avoid this is to go to any park first,
Mhm.
and you can just take a bus from there or whatever transportation that that resort has, or Disney Springs.
Or a minivan.
Or minivan, yeah.
Minivans don't get asked. And sometimes you get lucky, like an Uber driver will just say Uber drop off and then they will
Mhm.
be ushered through. But sometimes they will literally say, are you staying here? Like
Yeah.
you never know. So I wouldn't risk it. Best resort for a September visit.
I would I personally, if I could pick any resort, September, Food and Wine, put me close to Epcot,
The boardwalk, Heather.
not the boardwalk. I would go beach club. And then I would probably go yacht club, and then Swan and Dolphin, and then maybe boardwalk.
May I throw in another variable? It rains a lot this time of
Uh-huh.
year. And I don't like the hotels as much that have separate buildings.
That's true.
So, for instance, as much as I do love the Polynesian, it has separate buildings. And so when you go outside, you are in the rain, you are in the sun, you're in whatever. And so Beach Club has the added benefit of being under one roof.
Mhm.
And you can also walk to the yacht club.
Yes. Yes. And, um, that's also maybe something to think about with the Skyliner too, because if the weather's icky, there's times when the Skyliner won't run. I wouldn't I still wouldn't hesitate to stay there on a Skyliner resort, but if I could pick any, I would pick Boardwalk. And then I would have park hoppers and I would go into Epcot every day.
Yes, and it's during party season at Magic
Mhm.
Kingdom. And so we do recommend park hopper tickets when you're traveling between mid-August and Christmas because of the amount of parties. It's really helpful to be able to hop. And if you're staying at the beach club, for example, hoppers allow you just to dip into Epcot
Go to
or
Epcot.
walk over to Hollywood Studios or whatever you want to do. So I think we just talked through that.
Yes, I feel really confident about our answer now. Thank you.
Using Marriott points for the Swan and Dolphin, does it still count as a vacation package for kids, eat free, and free water park?
That's a great question.
I mean, does the Swan and Dolphin get that promo? It's not Disney owned. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that they do.
I don't know that they do either.
No. We can look that one up, but I think only the Disney owned resorts get it. So I'm not sure that the points or the cash options
Matters.
matter. Mm-mm. Okay, we can come back to it. Booking one bedroom, which sleeps 5, 3 will stay there. Can the other 2 stay off site but still get on site perks?
They can if you put them on your reservation. But keep in mind, if you do that, you're going to pay extra fees because it's depending on the room type, like how many people, adults that room sleeps, you can pay additional adult fees.
Yes. Most like a room that sleeps 5 usually will allow 2 adults, and anything over 2 adults is another extra nightly fee. So do that math, but you can definitely put them on your reservation if you want.
Mhm.
What's one thing I should request while staying at the Polynesian? What's one thing I should request? Chocolates at bedtime.
I was going to say unlimited Lapu Lapus, like free refills on that.
I don't know if this is a room request thing or just a general request thing, but I am a fan of like room requests here because there's so many buildings that you can like request specific buildings. I happen to like Tokelau a lot, but that's a villa building. And that's like if you book a room without a view and you stay in Tokelau, you get a partial view. That's why I like it there. You might want to request I don't know, near transportation
Near
if you want to be
transportation.
more centrally located. Best resort for older kids, 7 and 9 and an infant. Oh, Lord, 7 and 9 is considered older kids. And an infant.
I like the idea of the suites because you
Mhm.
can isolate groups who want to be awake and those who need to be asleep, especially with having an infant around. So, all Art of Animation or All Star Music.
Yeah. Art of Animation Suite would be my top pick as well
Mhm.
for the multiple sleeping areas and the closed door and the 2 separate bathrooms, and you're on the Skyliner, so you can roll the stroller
Stroller.
right on. But, like, your kids are still young. Like, I know it says older kids. They're still young, and I think the fun theming of Art of Animation is also just great. And you can pick, like, do they like Finding Nemo, Cars, Lion King? There is a Little Mermaid section, but it's not Sweets. Okay. Last resort question. Do you think 3 teens, 18, 17, 15 can safely walk around the boardwalk alone? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Their 18-year-old probably walks around a lot of different places alone at this point. But the boardwalk's actually one of my favorite areas to book with teens because they can, like, if the parents or adults want to go to bed, stay in,
Mhm.
there's the stuff to do nearby without feeling like you're just sort of stuck.
Yeah.
I love that. And they can also go on the Skyliner if they want to go to some of the other resorts. I'm a fan of giving teenagers freedom at Disney World. Dining question: staying at Bonnet Creek, arriving on a Saturday, dinner reservation or quick service?
I would do a dinner reservation.
Yeah, you stayed at Bonnet Creek not too long ago. They have a kitchen.
Yes, well, are they talking like Bonnet Creek, the area, or Bonnet Creek, like Wyndham Bonnet Creek? Because there's
Yeah,
several hotels back in there.
there
So
are there are multiples now. Some of them don't have kitchens.
yeah, so it kind of depends on where you're staying, like whether or not you have the kitchen. But I think I'm always down for getting the trip started, and quick service doesn't always feel like vacation mode. It
Mhm.
feels like just fuel in my body. So give me a nice dinner ADR.
Yeah, I might even just want to go to Disney Springs.
You're so close.
You're so close. Do people with a Disney dining plan get a different or limited menu?
Mm,
No, it's the same menu. It's just that
mhm,
they'll tell you how much you can order
mhm.
with the credit, but it's not a different menu per
And
se.
usually the only things that are excluded from the Disney dining plan are gonna be expensive cocktails and drinks. If you have, the
Mhm.
whatever, just expensive cocktails and drinks, and then also some of the larger meal entree options that you would normally share with people, but sometimes they will also let you use 2 credits for things like that. So, talk to your server, they'll tell you what you can and can't do, but it's not you don't feel like a have not if you have the dining plan.
Mhm. Is it possible to get Space 220 lounge reservation for 5? Is it possible to get a Space 220 reservation for anybody these days? I don't know what is happening with their, reservation system.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
It's very, very confusing. I would try it if you have issues, try booking it for 2 and 3 or, whatever combo might work.
Yeah, and I do sometimes go online and just look at what it lets me choose,
Mhm.
like, to see the max capacity for a restaurant. It is harder with Space 220 because it always shows no reservations available.
Yeah.
But you can definitely try for 5. I'm kind of skipping around here and just seeing what it's letting me do, but it's impossible to tell really because it just says not available, not available, not available. But yeah, you can give that a try. Okay, we have a few non-Disney World questions to wrap up. DCL first timer, sit down or Cabana's first lunch? 2 kids who like quiet, but is it too much time? I'm a new fan of the sit down restaurant because we have always gone to Cabanas or Marceline Market, whatever it's called, depending on the ship. Um, but it is hectic. Like the buffet can be quite hectic, and the sit down restaurant, depending on when you board. And if you're a first timer, you're not going to be one of the first to board. So the cruise I go on next month is my 10th, right? So I do get on usually pretty early. And on my December cruise, there was nobody in the sit down restaurant. By the time we left, it was busy. And I've seen other people say that they were told the sit down restaurant was going to be more chill and it was super busy. So I feel like they're both going to be busy by the time you
Mhm.
board. That is what I'm saying. Unless you take DCL transportation, in which case they will give you an earlier boarding group.
Yeah.
So I would go to Cabanas and I would find a table that is more quiet.
Mhm.
So what we have sometimes done, weather permitting, is get a table just outside the doors at Cabanas, like literally outside.
Outside.
And then we can go get our food at the buffet where it's kind of busy and hectic, but then sit down where it's quiet. Another first time cruiser. Any random tips? We are park goers and starting to feel nervous about DCL. Wish we could make plans and learn to navigate the app ahead of time. I think a first good tip is to relax
Mhm.
because it's not Disney World.
Mm-mm.
I feel like these questions often come from people used to Disney World. And the same is true for Disneyland. Like if you're planning your first Disneyland trip and you're a Disney World person, relax. It's not Disney World.
Yeah. It's way more chill. And the fact that you can't practice some of these things hopefully will help ease your anxiety a little bit because you don't have to because it's relatively easy.
No, and for some of these things that you can't see ahead of time, I try to make YouTube videos. So, for instance, I have a video on how the
Mhm.
Wi-Fi process works on DCL, like purchasing it, and I literally screen recorded the whole thing. During our trips, I screen record the app over and over and over and over again, just me clicking around in the app, just so I have it for footage for things like this. And so it's not difficult, but for the
Mm.
things that, you know, might require some learning ahead of time, I am trying to put out YouTube videos about it. So there's videos on the embarkation process, disembarkation, how to buy Wi-Fi, how to do the online check-in, how to book activities, some of that kind of stuff. Last couple of questions are Disneyland, best Disneyland and DCA rope drop strategy. I don't know that we have a strategy. We are just rope droppers, so we will always be there and usually buying lightning lanes.
Yeah.
We there's a website called Magical Tour Guide, and she kind of does similar information as we have, but for Disneyland. Last question: is the 3-hour lightning lane window effective at Disneyland? I've literally seen the biggest mix of advice on this. Some people are like, no, absolutely not. And some people are like, yeah, it works the same as Disney World. So we'll be there next month.
That's super helpful.
I know. I don't know what to say
Yeah.
because people that I trust are
Uh-huh.
literally 50-50.
Interesting.
So if you guys have firsthand experience, let us know because I can't answer that in any for sure way.
Mhm.
All right. So we got through that. Let's see what else people are saying in the comments. I can see that people are being chatty. We have good morning, Christine. Good morning, Amanda. Hi, Diane and Sarah and Jennifer.
Those are all easy ones. I'm glad those aren't hard questions.
Yeah. When we were talking about dogs, I did see the most service dogs at Disneyland this last weekend, no fewer than 12. That feels like a bonus to me.
Uh-huh.
I sure hope the Disney Junior and Bluey things will be there before our trip in mid-June. I am of the opinion that they should be. Because if they're advertising as Part of Cool Kid Summer, they should be there in the summer. So for your sake, Kelsey, I hope so as well. Jennifer says, I've spent so much time in my bed when I was down solo for Princess Weekend. I have big plans, but so much time was spent in bed watching Disney Plus.
Love that a lot.
We are not alone. I wasn't running. I just
No.
like to lay in bed and
There's just something about rotting in a hotel room that feels different than rotting at home. It feels luxurious. So I am pro bed rot.
What is your favorite location to watch the electrical water pageant? Probably the Polynesian beach, but really, I would say we don't typically watch it unless we're staying in one of those hotels. By the way, I see this come up a lot. What time does it come to the resorts? You can search in the app electrical water pageant, and there is a different entry for every hotel.
Yeah.
Electrical water pageant, Grand Floridian, electrical water pageant, Polynesian, and then it'll tell you.
Yes, and it changes depending on the time of the year, of course, because of, sunset. So don't be looking now for your trip 8 months from now and think that that's gonna be the times.
Nope.
Check when you're there.
Check when you're there. I heard an Instacart ad the other day in your main feed podcast, and it said you can now select the ripeness of your bananas when using the app. What a great ad placement.
Thank you. as
I,
as somebody who just had super green bananas delivered, and I'm not gonna be able to eat them for a month.
I created a short video back in November that said, "Dear grocery stores that deliver in Orlando, we're only here on vacation. Please stop giving us green bananas."
Bananas.
It drives me nuts. I love a banana for breakfast.
Yeah.
I cannot eat it. How many
Mm-mm.
bananas do we have to throw away because we cannot eat it? We're at Disney right now. Thank you guys for the help you have provided all these years. That makes your vacations amazing. Melly, why are you
Yay!
watching us?
Oh,
Are you bed riding with us?
yeah, okay. In which case, go you.
Yes. Do you know if they release more Premier Passes on 3 days out for those staying off site? I am praying to get Premier Pass for Magic Kingdom, but I'm staying off site with Hilton points during spring break.
Ooh.
No, when they're gone, they're gone. But they don't sell out during most times of the year.
Mm-mm.
So I would say during the red times, like peak crowds, that's when they're most likely to sell out. And Premier Pass shockingly sells out
Mhm.
a lot during those dates. But if you're not going during a red time, I wouldn't worry. Can night extra magic hours, which are now called extended evening theme park hours, and in May April at Magic Kingdom make daytime Lightning Lane feel like they were less necessary? It's only a couple hours
Yeah.
though.
You don't get a huge amount of time, and I would not use it as a substitute, especially at Magic Kingdom. Just because Magic Kingdom, I know it's more expensive for multi-pass there, but you're bang for the buck because there are so many attractions that are eligible for it, makes it way more worth it.
I think this was chiming in on a previous question. Book multi-pass at Hollywood Studios and do fight a pass to single pass for the Animal Kingdom Hollywood Studios split.
Mhm.
Yes, I like that. Have you ever gotten reservations to Space 220 Lounge? Yes.
Yes, and I've also had good luck doing walk up just by going early in the day. Maybe I'll try that again when I'm back for Springtime Surprise and see how bad the walk up is there, just because it's been so difficult to get the Space 220 lounge reservations.
And by the way, the lack of reservations isn't necessarily because they are fully booked and
No.
busy. It is confusing to us because sometimes they will be standing outside Space 220 and telling people, "Hey, we have openings." And it's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, but the app didn't."
I've had none, and you go inside and there's lots of empty tables, so I'm very confused because it's extremely popular. I don't know why the tables aren't full.
Yeah, I feel like there's something wrong with the reservation system and they should get onto that because they would be completely booked every day
Yeah.
if they, had the reservations available. Next question is what is your favorite steakhouse on property? I'm torn between Yachtsman or Le Cellier. Um, I have a note of the most popular steaks at Disney World. I wanted to share, but now I can't find it. But here's what's happened. You know how during our trips I scan the receipts into my notes app?
Mhm.
It is it is finding all of our receipts of every time we've been somewhere that has the word steak in it.
Steak. I don't wanna know how many times that's there, so
It's so many receipts.
I will say though,
Um,
I think the best steak I've had on property in recent years was at Flying Fish. I know that's not a steakhouse, but it was absolutely amazing. And I just had a steak before on my last trip. We went to what's the one in the Contemporary?
Steakhouse 71.
Yes, we went there and I had a great steak. I've also had absolutely amazing steaks at Yachtsman.
It's been a while though.
Yeah,
I feel like we used to like it a little bit more. But Le Cellier is having a moment right now. So maybe Le Cellier because people seem to be liking it.
plus soup,
I love the soup.
bread.
I'm going March 27th to the 31st on a solo trip. I'm meeting up with a friend for a Wild Africa trek. Any solo traveler tips? Um, Eat at the lounges,
Mhm,
like sit at the bar because then you don't have to have reservations. Like Heather just mentioned Steakhouse 71. We love the Steakhouse 71 lounge because you can
mhm,
order food, sit around a bar. It's like adults having good food and drinks. Use the single rider lines
mhm.
because you can. Do whatever you want to do. When I'm by myself, I go and take a lot of
Pictures.
pictures.
That's what I do too. Just I find myself wandering and meandering a lot more.
Yeah, just because you can.
Slowing down.
Yeah. And also do expensive things that you wouldn't normally do.
Treat yourself.
I mean, Wild Africa Truck's good, right? That's a tour that you can just pay for one
Mhm.
person. But like, I did this trip report with this woman who went by herself and she did all kinds of fancy things. And I think one day she got Premier Pass because she's like, it's only for one person.
Yeah.
Right. So I would do little splurges because it's only times one.
I love that.
Amanda cannot wait for Encanto. Good, Amanda, because I think it's opening in May of 2027.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fall of 2027, mid-fall.
For the Baby Body Boutique question with the 2-year-old, they make you assign the reservation to a child in My Disney Experience. So it might depend if they're listing the child as 2 in the reservation as to not have to buy park tickets. Yes, because children under 3 don't need park tickets.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is helpful. I guess you can't have your cake and eat it too, kind of
No.
thing. Like,
No, but I also wonder though, if you call and tried to book it and
if,
spoke to a cast member, if that might change things. Because I did some searching this morning to try to find the answer to this question. It was pretty a lot of people were saying that you just have to book it on your birthday or after.
mhm.
So yeah. Your mileage may vary though.
I'm going to Magic Kingdom fireworks party. Is it worth going to Hollywood or Epcot end of night show? Magic Kingdom Happily Ever After fireworks are definitely our favorite.
Mhm.
And Hollywood has Phantasmic, Epcot has Luminous. We don't go to those as much,
Mm-mm.
but partially because the post fireworks crowds don't feel worth it to navigate.
Yeah, I did Luminous for last trip because I was with somebody who hadn't been in a long time. I did it for the first time in a long time. I was like, I forgot how much I really do like this one.
Luminous,
Yeah.
yes. The less jet skis. They did an Epcot Forever show that had jet skis, and I will never forgive them because it was so low budget. I hated it. So anything's better than that.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, okay. So we've gotten through all the comments. Wait. I was disappointed that no one said that's what she said.
That's what she said twice today, Shannon.
You missed it. You guys missed it.
2 times. It took everything I had.
That's what she said.
Everything I had to not get fired today.
We're going to have to just let you go back on the rewatch and guess where you
Figure
it out. All right, that's it. We will be back tomorrow one more time this week to talk about any news that comes up and whatever else on our mind. Thanks for joining today.
Bye.